Now at this point, we notice in the attachment that the Brainmaster software, by automation, attached that zipped file and it's ready for transport. At that point, we simply hit send, which is up towards the top. And again, this may be in a couple different places depending on the email server or browser or whatever that you're using. But for now, we go ahead and hit send. It's actually doing it because I am hooked up here on wireless and everything. It's taking a moment. Realize that it may take some time to get there, especially if you've already done 10 or 20 sessions and you're emailing the folder back and forth, because the folder may be large. So keep that in mind. If you're using web-based email like AOL or another one like Hotmail or Gmail, you have to pay attention to the actual folder size, because some of those email servers will only allow you to send files so big. Now what we see here is we see a summary. Write archive, email was requested for study, please ensure your mailer sent the message. Well, we just saw that happen, so we're good with that. We simply hit the OK. What we've done is we've simply sent the file to the client using the automated session librarian technique. Now, there's a couple different ways that we can do this, because remember, since there are so many different email servers or email clients such as Hotmail and Yahoo and Gmail and AOL, those are considered web-based emails. So oftentimes you're not going to get that automated email window to come up. So we have to do it manually. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same exercise, but I'm going to walk you through the manual version of, again, sending a folder to a client that's already zipped, ready to open by our software on the other end, but we actually have to do the attachment manually. So let's get back and take a look at the software one more time and do the same exercise, but in the manual fashion. So we're not going to actually get the complete features of Session Librarian, but we're still going to use part of it and then do part of it manually. So what we do is, again, we go over to the folder selections option with our cursor. Once we click that, we get a box that says select trainee and study folder. Okay? Now, as I go down, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to highlight Bill Z-Score Test. We still want to hit the Session Librarian button. Even though we know we have a web-based email and we're not going to actually be able to send it that way, we're going to go ahead and make sure Session Librarian prepares the file for transport properly. So we hit the button. When we push Session Librarian, we will get the same window that says write files to disk. This is the procedure that's the most important, because this is the procedure that will write an archive file for study Bill Z-Score Test. So what we're going to do is we're going to then hit the OK button. It's going to create that archive for us, and then it's going to give us that floppy email. But since we know we have a web-based email, we're going to go ahead and use the no option. So at this point, we get another little box that says archive file created but not emailed or saved to floppy. So now we have to do the second part of this exercise manually. So we go ahead and we hit OK. We can then at this point close out of the Brainmaster software. So again, as a little reminder, we try to stay away from the red X's, and we scroll down slightly and we use the OK button to get out of that window. Again, once we get here, now it is okay at this point to use the red X because there's nothing we're going to lose. It's not going to not save any information we changed. So at this point we can go ahead and close the Brainmaster software. But now we have to go manually and create a way to send this. Even though I don't have web-based email, I'm going to use Outlook Express, but I'm going to attach the file manually. This would be the same exercise you would use for Gmail, Yahoo, AOL, and any of the other web-based emailers, MSN, Hotmail, all the different options. So what we do is whichever way you start a new email. So as I go over to the top, and I see an option that says create mail. So I go ahead and I create that. Okay. Now, I have a new message, but yet I don't have where it's going. I don't have any information actually in there. I don't have an attached file. So what I need to do is I'm going to go ahead and pick who it's going to, and it's going to go to support@brainem.com. This again would be your email of your client. But now in the subject, I need to put client folder, and we'll say .bmz. Okay. And now we have to go up to the attach button. We need to go ahead and find that file and attach it. So as I hit attach, it's going to give me insert attachment, and I have to go hunt for this file. Now the file is located in the brainem.20 directory. So where it says look in, I go over to my little drop down arrow, and then it gives me different options of where to look. Now I know, and this is going to be the same for your computer, that you're looking for the Brainem directory in your local disk C, or your what we call your root directory. So we go ahead and we click on that, and we have a bunch of different options, but I know I'm looking for my Brainem folder, so there it is. Once I click on that, again I have the folders that are within Brainem. Now one of the most common mistakes is people will go right to the studies folder. That is not where you want to send a file from for transport via email, or if you're saving it onto some type of flash drive, or you're burning it onto a CD. What you have to remember is, since we used the Session Librarian option, we use a folder that's called Archive. That is where, as I push that, where we're going to look for the file that was created while we were hitting Archive, or we were hitting Session Librarian, excuse me. So we look for Bill Z-score test.bmz. Remember, again, we did that and we created that by using Session Librarian. Even though we did not email it or burn it to floppy, it made the archive, which is prepared the file for transport. So I've highlighted it. I simply then hit the attachment option. And now, as I look onto this email window, if I zoom in down to where the attachment is, I see that same file that was done last time, automated completely by Session Librarian, but this time I've put it in there manually. So whether, again, I had that web-based email or an email server that wasn't compliant and didn't open on its own or wasn't automated, we can then use this manual version to go ahead and still get the file to the client. So again, in the body I could put, any little message, just putting in filler there, and then I could hit send. Now the client's gotten the file that I was requesting them to do their sessions.